New one. Here we go.
Okay.
1, 2. All right, we're outside. Where are you gonna go? First of all, like,
All right.
we haven't yet.
I'm gonna actually pass over the role of deciding where we go to you because I made a bad call. My first decision.
Okay, well, okay. As we're walking, we're in front of the skeleton, and a guard approaches us and says, "You've done a lot of shit in this town, and we don't even know your names."
I walk up to the guard.
The king summons you and hands me a slip of paper for the king summons.
All right, so he's talking to you. I walk up to him, like I get all up in his face.
Roll for charisma.
Roll for charisma.
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna report
Stabbing.
stabbing. I'm reporting an attempted murder.
It was your fault.
No. I was ready to leave, and she ran at me with a knife. I'm reporting a stabbing. I'm rolling for charisma.
Okay.
That's a strong 6.
The guard says, "What evidence do you have?" At which point you lift up your shirt to find that the wounds are already closed.
God damn it.
There's nothing there.
Wait, no. Okay, is there a lot of blood all over me still?
No, dude, you changed out monk robes. Your shirt's in the bottom.
I can't believe this.
Oh my god.
So fuck your report. We ain't going anywhere.
I look him in the eye and said, "I'm going to your boss about this."
Good, my boss wants to see you. He's the king.
I'm gonna report a stabbing to the.
Your cover needs to be back.
God damn it, Caleb.
Anyways.
I'm reporting a stabbing to the king.
Okay, roll. I just want to see how this conversation plays out. He says, "Okay, whatever. Do that." Then I don't know why you came to me.
Okay, can I threaten him to not give me that attitude? I'm a powerful necromancer.
Yeah, you can.
I am of a higher evil.
Do a
Strength roll, probably.
do an intelligence.
Ooh, intelligence roll. Can it be a wisdom roll? My wisdom's better.
No, it has to be intelligence.
Okay, well, intelligence has the +3 modifier, so 13.
And what are you telling him?
Watch his backsass.
He looks at you and goes, "All right, geez, fucking quit harassing me." And then we venture on.
I lock eyes with him for a few seconds and then follow you.
Okay. Well, the
guard's on my hit list.
as we walk away, the guard eyeballs you, and I'm watching the guard eyeball you, but you're looking forward.
I'm a swagger in my step.
I look at you and I'm like, we're gonna fucking die in this town before we even go anywhere. I don't know where we're going.
I whisper back to you, yeah, probably.
We're here for adventure. We don't know what though.
Yeah, we don't know what we're here.
Okay, so I go to Whack-a-Bitch Arms and Armor.
Oh, can I? I'm gonna follow you. I want to follow you.
Okay, I go there and I look at his wares.
His wares.
Let me take a look at your wares. Sir.
Okay, so wait. So am I?
Yeah,
I'm the blacksmith. Ooh. All right. So you walk into the blacksmith shop, and it's very, very hot in there because the entire setup is in the very back, and you see a very large, burly man, probably hairier than anticipated,
to be slightly unexpected. Actually.
holding the hilt of a blade, pounding a hot red something. You're not really sure what it is yet. His massive shoulders are blocking it.
Okay.
You know he's making something, and he can't hear you enter over.
I yell, "Good morrow, sir."
And he looks up, turns around, and you see the most pristine mustache you've ever seen in your life, and with a flawless beard combo. And you think to yourself, that man has one of the best barbers.
I am now concerned for my currency, for my money, because I know he can swindle me out of anything.
From his sheer looks alone.
I go to Increw
In crew. Alright.
Crew a sword.
Everybody have
A sword.
One?
Yes.
I'll take another one if
Actually,
you
I
don't
would love
mind.
another one.
Donut stop.
Donut Frank.
What? I didn't say nothing to you.
Stop talking mess.
I wasn't talking this at all. She's my witness.
The blacksmith runs off and returns with a small pastry.
I said I'd like to accrue a sword.
He takes a bite out of the pastry and asks, "We have plenty of swords. What kind are you interested in?"
I just want a regular steel sword. How much will that be?
He looks at you in the eye and says, "We don't sell regular swords. We sell handcrafted masterwork."
I said, okay, that sounds expensive.
It is.
What is your cheapest sword type and cost?
How much copper do you have?
95.
Alright. He takes another bite out of his pastry and starts twirling his mustache.
I see the price of the sword going up.
And roll for charisma real fast.
Beautiful. A 15.
Alright. You see him twirling his mustache, and he says, "I might have something just for you." And you see him walk to the back and go behind a small door that you can't really see anything behind. And he comes back with a relatively large mass wrapped in leather. Alright. And it's about 1 meter long.
Meter long. Okay. It's a what? It's a what kind of weapon?
You don't know yet, it's wrapped up.
Okay.
And he walks up to you and says, "I've been meaning to try to sell this. We haven't had very many luck with buyers. They're not interested in this type of weapon."
Unwrap it.
Alright. He gives it to you to unwrap because he's still eating his pastry.
Okay.
And says it's
We
something
can
to
see
do.
that he's still eating his freaking pastry.
I
He
unwrap
says
it.
it's due to the bad luck incurred of a weapon owner that doesn't unwrap his weapon.
Okay, well.
And not due to his pastry and sticky
Okay,
fingers.
well. I open it anyways because I really don't care. I opened it. What's it? What is it?
You open it to see a very battered, indented steel sword. Very, very well used and weathered, obviously. And you look at it, back up, and I'm like,
I hand it back and say, "Can you just bring me an average steel sword?"
he looks
Please.
at you and waggles a finger. He's like, no. See, this is better than steel sword. It has seen battle time and time again.
I want a fresh steel sword. I want to make my own.
He says,
memory.
no.
I push it back to his, and I say, "I just want a sword, sir."
And he says, all right. And he holds it up to you and says, "Kiss it goodbye for good luck."
No, it's rusty. I don't want to get a disease, a Legionnaire's disease.
All right, roll for strength.
Oh my god!
Roll for strength.
I kiss it.
The black. No, you're in too deep now.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I simply
You
denied.
denied it. Okay, roll
I did not.
roll dexterity then.
Okay.
All right, you kiss it before the blacksmith can grab you by the collar and force you to kiss it.
Okay. I tell him strictly. I just want a fucking sword.
He shrugs, walks back, wraps it up, and comes back with a wrap that looks exactly the same, and offers it to you to open it up.
And I open it up.
And it's a steel sword, about this long. The hilt is about that long.
So the blade is that?
No, this is the hilt.
Okay.
The blade is like that. And It has no handguard on it,
Oh.
but at the bottom, there's a knob about this big, perfect circle, hollow in the center, with a small spike at the very end. It's a two-sided sword.
Okay, I tell him, I wish that you would have gotten me something, more predictable. But I will trade you this monk's locked box for that sword and a hilt and a scabbard, whatever you want to fucking call it.
He looks at it, and you see him ponder the trade, and he points to the box and says, "What's in it?"
It's a mystery, sir.
He looks at it and says, "Well, I want to know what's in it before we trade."
Well, then bust it open,
All right.
Buster Brown.
He gives you a weird look,
Sorry.
looks at me and shrugs, and then walks off to go get his blacksmith hammer. Comes back, and he puts it outside with the lock on the top. Actually, okay, yeah. Puts it on the side with the lock on the top, and he holds his hammer, and with a mighty swing, goes down, breaks the lock open. Actually, he doesn't break the lock, he breaks the wood around the lock.
Okay.
And he looks at it and says, good enough. Hands you the lock with the wood still attached.
I drop it on the ground. I just drop it. I don't want it.
He turns and looks at you and says, no littering.
I pick it up. And say sorry again.
And he turns around, looks at you, takes the box, goes behind his desk where he keeps all his money and everything, opens it up and looks at it. And you see him shuffle through things. His eyes get really wide for a second. Then he closes it, brings it back to you and says, no trade.
I go. I tried to swindle him into taking the item, for I am going on an adventure and I have no place for this in my inventory.
He says that
Can I roll for
he's
charisma?
been okay, yeah, roll for charisma.
You can't?
That's a 19.
That's a 20.
That's a 20, nice. Alright. Alright, so you say this, and he looks at it and says, I've been across many nations in many cities. I've met many people in even more buyers. However, I don't think I would ever find a man willing to buy what you have in this box. But for such a generous offer and such an exotic item, I'm willing to lower the price by 50%. The total of your sword will be 95 copper.
And I say, well, sir, I'm gonna have to get it less for that. I ask him, does that include sword and scabbard?
Yes.
Okay. I go, well, sir, you see, that's all I have, as my money would allow me, and I still have to go to the skeleton to buy some goods to bring on this adventure of mine.
And to that he says, he motions me and says, why doesn't your girlfriend pay for it?
Ooh. Bird.
And I go, I look at you for, I look at you for a second and go, and think he needs his money just as much as I need mine. I look at him and say, it doesn't have money.
I pipe up in the background and say, I'm a necromancer, actually. And he's like, Blacksmith kind of looks at me and he's like, okay.
Okay.
And then looks back at you.
I go, just at least bring it down to 80 copper.
Coxine says, well, I'm gonna need something in return to compensate that 5 copper. And he
Actually,
looks at you and your person,
okay.
then he looks over to me and my person, and looks up. And he says, I like your shirt, Necromancer.
I tell him, wait, no. I'll pay you in full. And I walk back to you and say, he does have money, I just don't want him to spend it. He needs it just as much as I do.
Wait, to me or you?
I'd say it to him. I go to you and say that to
You're
him.
motioning to me and saying that to him. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a greedy whore and take my money.
Okay.
Alright, so
I whisper to you, get a custom-made sword. Get it forged here.
custom made, get it forged.
Get it forged here right now when you go get a sword.
Okay.
And I look back at him and I give him all my 95 copper.
Okay.
So I have 0.
The blacksmith says, alright, let's go over to my table and let's count this out real fast. Make sure you paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? So you go do over that. And what am I doing?
You stand there waiting. Okay. We come back.
Okay.
And I have the sword and scabbard. I have it attached to my belt. I pull it out to see if it sings, and it does. And I go, very good, sir, very good. And then now it is your turn.
Oh shit.
And I am the blacksmith. I hope you're not as fuck-faced as your friend. He opens up.
I look at him and say, well, I have a better shirt, don't I?
That doesn't apply to anything, sir.
I look at him and say, of course it does. Don't you know what a noble is?
I do.
The better your clothing, the higher your status. I motion to you and say, look at this peasant below me with his shitty clothing. Roll a charisma check? Because I feel like I'm gonna need that. No, just wait. I have a plan.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh.
19.
That's a 19.
Okay.
That's almost perfect.
Alright, and what do you say?
I look at him and say, now, let's be real here. 95 copper isn't a whole lot. But for a noble, that 95 copper helps them keep their place as a noble. Look at my friend over there. He's not a noble. Alright. So, I asked the blacksmith to level with me here. I can trade him power. I can bring him horses and men within a month's time. In return, I own a shiv. A small shiv of the strongest metal he has.
He looks at you and says, my desire is not of power and horses. He reluctantly denies that, but he hands you the shiv and says, good luck in your travels.
I give him a small nod. I put the shiv in my pocket. Or actually, no, I take the shiv and I put it up my sleeve. I wish him a good day. And then I give you a really smug grin when I walk out. And say, that's how you bargain.
I look at you and go, get a sword, custom made. And we walk back in. That's where we end part 3.